Yo, and welcome to the show all about promoting the sport of lawn bowls. I'm Zach Waning, and this is Casual Bowls. Yo, and welcome to Casual Bowls. Episode 3 of our Premier League preview, this time with Matty Ellul from Melbourne Bowling Club. Now, there's a couple of things mentioned in this interview about a conversation I had with Jimmy Whitehead and about Matt's podcast. This was actually pre-recorded a week or so ago now. It's currently the 28th, Saturday. Bowls Vic has since had another meeting, so there's a few updates there. Stay tuned to the end of the episode and I'll tell you all about that. Matty's also released his first episode of his podcast, so we'll put a link down in the description below and tell you all about that afterwards. So stick around, enjoy the interview. Cheers, guys. Lola, how you going, mate?
Hello, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Just it's after 12 now, so you can enjoy a sneaky one.
Stick to the coffee, mate, but looks nice. I'll have one later.
Nah, good idea. And my brand new glass from Jordan Burley. We'll give her a proper
Good.
shout out later. But speaking of shout outs, you've got your podcast coming up. About to launch.
Yeah, we're going to launch a podcast soon, mate, which is pretty cool. It's maybe you were the inspiration. Seeing you do what you're doing has fired me into action as well. So yeah, it's called the Be Your Own Economy podcast. We talk about property, business, and personal development. So that's pretty much my jam outside of bowls. So first episode's done. We'll probably launch it next week and see how we go, mate. There'll be some good stuff on there.
Where can people find that?
On all of the main podcast platforms, essentially. Yep. So yeah, we've got a software that basically puts it out to all of them. So
awesome.
Yeah, no excuses. Have a listen.
I'm sure you'll link it on Facebook as well. So
yeah, Facebook and LinkedIn and whatever else. Instagram.
So if you're not already friends with Matty, get on him on Facebook and catch up with his podcast. So good on you, man.
Mate. Good on you for what you're doing. It's brilliant.
Well, yeah, we're working on it. Thanks, though. I feel like it's getting better every time. My presence on camera is slowly getting better. So, all right. Well, let's get cracking on it. People want to hear about, you guys especially being the reigning champs. But how about you give us a little bit of a recap on your season last year? We just got off with Joshy, and he talked us up pretty highly and said you did it reasonably comfortably until the final. So
yeah.
How did it come across from your end? Was it as comfortable as it seemed from the outside, or?
No, not at all. It was really, it sounds so cliche, but it was the old one step at a time sort of approach. We never got ahead of ourselves. I think sort of looking back to the start of the year, no one really gave us a hope. A lot of teams didn't even think that we'd sort of be a top 4 team, which is, I think, pretty, yeah, when you talk about Melbourne and, they're usually around the mark. But we lost, we lost our Queensland boys. We picked up Sperry, which is obviously a great acquisition for any club or any team. But, we were probably lighter on than the year before.
Yeah.
And we got knocked out in the first final that year. So, yeah, I guess no one really gave us a chance, but we did. We gave ourselves a good chance. And, plans always make finals, top 2 if you can, to get the second chance. And, yeah, I don't know, mate. I think it was we just really gelled. The side sort of, like I tucked off for half a season a couple of years ago, but the team's sort of been around for quite a while now and everyone knows each other pretty well. And I think when you build that bond, you sort of start having belief in each other, and that's what was happening. So yeah, it worked really well, mate.
I look at you and Clayton the same way in that aspect, that you've got that sort of build that you've had going for years. And you get players in and players out, obviously, as every club does. But your main structure sort of holds tight.
Yeah. No, so it's good. Yeah, but obviously finals it was interesting. The finals, because the first one was, we played Altona, so we played them 4 times last year, and the first final, the game was over pretty quickly. We sort of shot out to a big lead, and that was sort of it. But we knew it wasn't going to be the same case in the final, and it wasn't. It was it was the most intense game I've ever been involved in.
Yeah.
So to get over the one when we were really challenged, was epic.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen plenty of pictures about it on Facebook. I didn't catch the game myself, but we might find someone and chuck them up here. Some of your pictures of you celebrating, because it looked epic watching it. So
it was a very loud, intense game. It was pretty full on.
Yeah. So out of your premiership side then last year, you lost any players?
Yeah, we've only lost. Well, only I shouldn't say only. We've lost Matty Young. I don't think he's playing this year. Nugget, but yeah, who knows with him? He might be back after 5 rounds. He likes to come in when you least expect it. But so yeah, he's the only one off the top of my head that we've lost, and we've had some really good pickups as well. So
yeah, who have you got in?
So we've picked up Skilts. Alex Skilton's come back from Mentone. He left and went to Mentone for a couple of years, so he's a really strong acquisition. Obviously skipped at Mentone last couple of years and did really well. We picked up Phelpsy, so Nathan Murray from Bundoora.
Yeah, huge get. Yeah.
State singles winner. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, huge acquisition as well. And then just, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say. I think it's all done and dusted. But Robert Duty's come across from Deer Park.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah. Wow, another huge get.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think I'm allowed to say that.
That's all right. Well, hopefully this doesn't go out for another week by the time we get it all sorted. So hopefully by then it's all good.
Should be right by then.
So, all right. Well, other than the fresh acquisitions, is that how you say that word?
Yeah, acquisitions. Yeah.
How else do you go about? I mean, you've been premiers in the past. How do you go and try and back that up again the following year? I mean, it can't. You see it a lot in the footy. It's very hard to back it up. Actually, you see it in all sports. You win it once, and sort of that premiership hangover kicks in. So how are you going about it for this season to make sure you stay up and about and get yourselves ready again?
Well, firstly, recruitment. Obviously strengthening the side and building on that. Has been the first step. There's been a lot of discussion, not too much discussion, but around how the side's going to look, how we're going to line it up. I think the good thing with our side as well is we've got a lot of selfless players, people that are willing to, be put wherever the team needs them to play. I mean, you look at Bryce Young playing 3, he's going to skip in any other Premier League side in Victoria easily. Playing 3 for Curtis to give him a season in as a skip. Yeah. And probably to having a look at it, probably Alex Skilton and Nathan Murray probably going to play 3 as well. Yeah. And they're going to skip anywhere else. So that's a pretty good sort of indication of where we sit as a side. But no hangover, not at all. It's especially winning the state pennant as well last year. If we can, go back to back with the Premier League, that's hard enough. But then that gives you a chance to go back to back state pennants as well. Yeah, we're all pretty hungry for that. So yeah, no, that's good. So you're going about it the same way you normally would, same sort of system with practice games. Training's the same. Yeah, we've got our practice games locked in. I think it's fine to say as well, we're playing Glenroy and Moonee Valley, so a couple of Div 1 sides that obviously came close to getting up the Premier League again this year. I'll spiel on that at least one of them didn't get up this year. I've always wanted them to get up. I think they'd be good for the comp. So that'd be good. And then we're playing in the Super Nines, is it? I think it's called Super Nines.
So on that, I'll just stop you there. I actually spoke to Jimmy Whitehead this morning, and he's given me permission to say this. There has been rumours floating around that maybe pennant might get pushed back till after Christmas due to COVID. But at the moment, no plans are in place for that. They're fully expecting to go ahead as scheduled. The only thing that might be affected may be the Super Nines. Obviously, being a pre-season comp, and lockdown's now been extended for an extra couple of weeks, and knowing Dan Andrews probably continue on for a bit longer.
I call him And Andrews. I don't know if you put that in there. But...
So, no, all good. So yeah, Super Nines might be the only thing affected, provided restrictions don't continue on for months on end.
Well, that's a pity for Bolsvik. I know how much work Jimmy's put into it. He's a good mate of mine. He's put a lot of work into trying to create that comp and give people better practice leading into the season. So that'd suck, but obviously it's challenging times, so they've got to do whatever they can to get it up and running.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, so that's your last season. That's this season coming up. Let's go into a couple. Who's the hardest team for you guys to play against? I mean, obviously being the Premier, you mentioned Altona. one game you pantsed them, or jumped them at the start and then ran on with it, and then they really put it up to you. Is that like a little special rivalry you got with Altona? Because you've both been up there for forever.
Oh, Melbourne Altona rivalries have been around for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, even as a youngster playing in Ocean Grove, I came up and played at Mooney Ponds as an 18-year-old. So that's 20 years ago, and it was always Melbourne Altona.
Yeah.
You know, the legends of the game Legends of Victoria played at both of those clubs for a long time. So, I mean, they're easily probably them and Bundoora, I'd say. I mean, every team in Premier League's hard to play against, but I think probably them two in particular.
Yeah.
You're always gonna be in a fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a physical fight, but you're always going to be in a battle, and no one's going to give an inch. Which is I prefer it that way. I like to get into a bit of a scrap, and play hard. But so hats off to those guys. They're tough competition every time.
Yeah. Well, you've taken a leg up over Bundy now, pinching Murray off him, pinching Phelpsy off him. So yeah.
Is Gary Kelly playing for them this year? I heard rumours that he might be, but
I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to Bundy yet. We've got Dean O'Neill coming on. I think I'll be speaking to him tomorrow, so we'll have a chat to him about that. I'm not sure how many games he is able to play, and with the new qualification system with eight games required, I don't know if he's capable of that or not. I'm not sure, so we'll chat to Dean.
I hope he does. To be honest, I think it's good for the comp. Gary
absolutely
was a ripping bloke as well.
Yeah.
I actually played against him. Our rink played against him a couple of years ago when he was playing, and he's a fierce competitor. Good.
Yeah, I also played against him a couple of years ago. We had 3 rinks up at Lilydale in a must-win game, and I got done by 20-something shots. He absolutely pants me, and cost us the overall.
I think last time I played you beat me by about 20 shots, wasn't it? And that Fitzroy competition.
Possibly, yeah. I think you might have been out of it by that stage, though. So, yeah, I think you might have let me have one there.
We'll run with that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Gary Kelly and a couple other players, who would be the players that you'd want from the other Premier League clubs? If you could, I mean, you're loaded already. Can't really fit too much more in there. But if you could pick anyone, maybe give us 3. Who would you get over?
Oh, who would I get? I'd probably Snapper, Dylan Fisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Snapper's pretty good mate of ours. He comes down to the club sometimes and has a couple of waters. So yeah, I think he'd be a good fit for the side. Who else? Probably D-Mac and Dogger Wilson from Altona. They're also good mates of ours, and play the game fair but hard, and play it bloody well.
Yeah.
So that'd probably be my top 3, I'd say, mate.
Beautiful. Oh, good on Dogger, because that's his second mention up there now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Put him at the top of the leaderboard.
I'll retract it then. I don't want his head to get too much bigger.
And I'll be speaking to D-Mac tomorrow, so I'll let him know that you gave him a shout out too. He'll enjoy that.
Oh yeah. D-Mac's head won't get any bigger. It'll just be his arms. Neck arms.
Lastly, I haven't asked anyone else about it yet, but we mentioned it before about the finals qualifications. But one of the other conditions that they're looking at change, it's still proposed, there's no finalised stuff out yet, but is practice before games. Now, I know when I was at Lilydale, coming to Melbourne was a tough ask, especially, I mean, the couple of times I can remember going there, it had been pissing down rain, and the thing was running 10 seconds. But you handled it like a slick synthetic. So we really struggled, and you got the jump on us. But now clubs proposed are going to be allowed to practice the away team and on the rinks you're playing on. So, I mean, how do you feel about that? Do you reckon it's going to affect you at home as much? Because, I mean, it is... I couldn't tell you the record off the top of my head, what your home record is, but I'd imagine it'd be pretty solid.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think it is what it is for starters. I don't really, there's rule changes or whatever. It's, whatever you run with what's available or what's happening. But I actually remember coming back when I moved back from Perth to play at Melbourne. First away game that we played at Footscray, because in Perth that's a common thing. You can go and practice at the club that you're playing against before the game. We always do it, or most of the time. And I rocked up to Footscray on my own and went out there, and started rolling up, and they're like, "Oh, excuse me, mate, who are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm Matty. I'm just playing for Melbourne, so having a practice." They go like, "Oh, no, you need to get off the green. You're not allowed to practice." I was like, "What horse shit is this?"
Yeah.
So I've gotten used to not doing it now. So people want to come and practice at Melbourne before the game. Go for your life. The music will be pumping, and
no,
that's it.
Yeah.
So no, it's fine. I think, especially in the Premier League, I mean, it's a hard fought competition. There's a lot of mates, but on the green, it's pretty fierce. It might, I don't know, it might bring in some more camaraderie. There's my turn to lose my English abilities, mate.
I did think it might even it up just a little bit. I mean, your clubs, like your club, and Clayton was very similar. You go there and they know the green. They've obviously been practicing on it during the morning. They play on it all the time. And you've really got to be so focused in those first few ends to not let them get a jump on you.
Yeah.
And I think that takes a bit of the pressure away like that. But I think the game itself will become way more competitive because everyone should be on from the get-go. So
no, fair enough too. I think that helped us last year in finals, making sure that we were practicing at the clubs we played at.
Yeah.
Beforehand. So look, if it makes the competition stronger, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to play in a weak competition. It's depending on where you're at in your career, but I've been playing for 25 years. I want to be playing at the highest level possible against the best opposition possible. So if that helps then amen. That's
absolutely. Oh, well, there you go. You've heard it here first, Bowls Vic. You got the tick of approval from Lola. So
I couldn't go against Jimmy anyway, mate. I have to support his decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll leave you with one last question. I don't want to keep it too long. So we've been asking everyone, who's the biggest pain in the arse team to play against? Whether it be that they're just, fiercely competitive and tough to beat, or they're just, a pack of dickheads. I know there's a few up there. Again, everyone up there, most of them are all mates. But some get carried away. Bit of white wine fever kicks in.
There's some special mentions, but I'll stay away from that. I'm sure I get a few special mentions from other teams as well, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's all right. So we'll give us one club because we'll keep a little tally going of the biggest pain in the arses. So.
Look, I'll have to go with Bundy. I'll have to go with Bundy. Yeah. They've got their common call outs that they run with, and good luck to them. But I find it. It's annoying sometimes, but that's probably what they're going for. So good luck to them.
Yeah.
I got no dramas with teams playing hard. It's fine. But they bug me sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bundy's good because they can back it up too. We tried it a bit at Lilydale when I was there, and we couldn't always back it up. So.
Yeah, exactly. And look, don't get me wrong. All 8 other sides as well bug me at some level. So it's it's all, we play pretty hard against all of them. So it's it's not just them. But you asked for one, you put me on the spot. So.
No, yeah. Everyone else is copying the same question, so I'll force an answer out. That's fine. Right, Lola. Well, cheers for your time, brother. Good luck again, trying to go back to back, and wish you all the best with it all. And when you get your podcast up and going, I'll be sure to promote it on the show here. So
I appreciate that, mate. I'll do the same with your show. Well done on what you're doing. Doing a good job.
Mate. Thanks, brother. All right, I'll let you go, mate. Have a good one. Massive thanks to Matty. As mentioned in that episode, Matty's podcast actually dropped a day ago now. So his Be Your Own Economy podcast, released on Spotify, I believe. There'll be a link in the description below. Get around him. I think his first episode's more of an introduction, so not too overwhelming. But go and have a listen. I'll be definitely having a listen a bit later today, once I relax with our new sponsor, partner, I don't know what to call these things, but Sports Beer has also gotten around us. We'll do a bit more on them next episode. But thanks to Ian Crawford for getting around us, mate. Much appreciated. As always, Jordan with their candles. Jordan's handcrafted. And Leroy. I don't have his strung a schnitzel with crumb there. I used it the other night. So he's actually sending me a few more bags. And we might do a little giveaway and throw in one of those bags. So stay tuned to our socials for more information on that. Jimmy Whitehead. So Jimmy had a meeting on Thursday with Bowls Vic. Again, this is the 28th, Saturday. So on Thursday, Bowls Vic had a meeting on the current state of play. In terms of the nines comp that they were going to run pre-season, they're going to leave that till next week once Dan Andrews makes his newest restrictions, I guess, and see what the go is there. They're going to leave it to the last possible minute to try and get it to go ahead because it is very popular. People are really wanting to play it. So stay tuned for that next week. In terms of the Vic Open, they're going to make a call on that mid-September. Again, everything's restrictions pending, so fingers crossed the Vic Open gets up after missing it last year. It'd be a shame to miss it again. And in terms of pennant, at the moment it's all go. They're planning on everything going ahead as normal, but it's going to be made week to week. Decisions will be made week to week. So stay tuned. We'll keep you up to date as best we can. Good on you, Jimmy, for letting me know the details as soon as you get them. Otherwise, I think that about wraps it up. Massive thank you to Matty. Melbourne. Well, I don't think there's. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer with the inclusions they've got. Bang, up top. Get around D's this year. I think they're going to go back to back. So good luck to you guys. Good luck to Matty with his podcast. Cheers for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. Have a good one.